Season 1 of Frieren was a monumental success, so there's no wonder there was a lot of skepticism about its second season, especially because in the year going up to its release, we got a lot of red herrings. But in despite of all of that, the team behind this season managed to do one thing that gave Frieren Season 2 an edge that it needed. So what were the red herrings that made fans skeptical about Frieren Season 2? How does Season 2 compare to Season 1 of Frieren? And what was the one thing they did that actually saved this season? Well, the skepticism started with how it starts with any anime that had an insanely good and popular first season. Just a regular old question like, okay, now we have to wait for Season 2. Will Season 2 be as good as Season 1? Will they change stuff? Will they rush it? Will it take 5 years to produce? But thankfully it wasn't long before actually we found out that the second season will be coming out in winter 2026. Now the fans did have to wait a bit long for that, but it's kind of the usual how it goes. Then the second red herring is that for the longest time all we had was a single key visual and the release date that will be coming out in winter. No trailers, no nothing. Then afterwards we got an image showcasing the updated design for Frieren and its characters, and now that's already scary. Design choices, changes, not in the anime fandom world, but thankfully these design choices weren't really all that big. Honestly, when I first saw the image of Frieren Season 1 versus Season 2 design, I had a hard time looking at the image. Well, first of all because it's Frieren and I was gooning, but second of all because the changes are minimal. They were more so kind of there to optimize the already existing art style so that the animation team can animate the anime more easily. Wow, English. But it didn't stop there, because after that we only got like a short teaser, and to this day Frieren Season 2 didn't have a lot of trailers showcasing its upcoming season, and that is usually kind of a red herring, because although Frieren Season 2 succeeded, we did actually have a direct comparison with One Punch Man Season 3, because all of these things were happening exactly to the third season of One Punch Man, although the wait was much longer. But even still, we only got a single teaser like a year before with the release date, and then we got a single teaser trailer of like 30 seconds, 1 minute that shows some animation, and then we didn't know much more until the actual season came out. Now that is a standard practice in anime, but it's not really a good thing that will, you know, hype people up and make them feel secure about the upcoming season. But there was even one more thing that actually put the nail in the coffin for the Frieren community, and it was the fact that they announced that this second season will only be 10 episodes long, which is an insane comparison because Season 1 of Frieren was 28 episodes long, and even the first 4 episodes came out as like an hour-and-a-half special on Crunchyroll, because okay, yes, granted, you did kind of need those 4 episodes to get people hooked into the story, but even still, it felt like a grand event. And here we learned that we have barely reached a third of the first season, and then we were going to get that for the second season. After that news broke out, fans were kind of like, okay, guys, I don't want to worry anybody, but we might get disappointed. But then the geniuses at the Madhouse, the studio that animates Frieren, decided to do a single thing that actually fixed all of these problems and washed away all the doubt anybody had when they watched this second season, episode 1. Holy moly, I'm struggling with English in this video. So what was it? Was it the animation? Well, it's actually interesting because I personally held on watching Frieren for the longest time. I basically watched it in fall of 2025. So I can confidently say that the animation looks identical to Season 1. Even with these slight improvements or upgrades to the animation style, it still feels exactly like Frieren does. Okay, so it's not animation, it's just general pacing and everything. Well, no, it's actually also kind of the same. Like, you still have this like a slow burn story that prioritizes emotions and memories and nostalgia of the characters in its storytelling and all of these other fancy words that I'm reading off of Google. But at the end of the day, this is still the original story from the Frieren manga. Season 2 is just a continuation of this well-written story. Everything you loved in Season 1 is still here in Season 2 and will probably be still here in Season 3. And we will get into Season 3 a bit later in this video because it's kind of interesting to talk about it. But before that, yeah, it's not animation, it's not the pacing, the story itself, it's Frieren in all of its aspects. I can also confidently say that the music and voice acting is still here. I mean, the music is just so perfect for the vibe and just the feels and emotions of the show. Okay, so what is it? What is the secret thing? Well, the answer to that question is actually looking at all the problems I listed before. Because it turns out all of these problems are actually strengths that the studio used. So first and foremost, Frieren Season 1 came out in September of 2023, and here we have already Season 2 in winter or January of 2026. I almost said 2025. That's not a huge difference between seasons. And then when you look at the quality of Season 2, it's exactly the same as Season 1. I can't say that it's better because Season 1 was already the peak of animation, but Season 2 is on that exact level. And they accomplished it with the answer to this video, with restraint. A lot of anime, when they go into second season, they either overrush it, they want to get the second season out as quickly as possible so they stay kind of in the public spotlight, and of course you get worse animation, but it can still be very good, but compared to season 1 it's kind of worse. Or you can go the opposite route where it takes 3, 4, 5 years for the next season to come out, and even again with One Punch Man season 3 we saw that doesn't guarantee good quality. But the team behind Frieren decided to use restraint to weaponize their passions. They basically used the time and the money they had and used it in all the correct areas. I found some information that Frieren season 1 took around 2 years to make, so by that logic we should have the exact same episodes for this second season, because there's also a 2-year difference between the seasons. So here's where it gets interesting, because this time Jump first and foremost allows other animators to work on other projects, but it also gives even more time for this team to actually bring season 2 to life and to make it the best it can be. And this is genuinely the best of both worlds. Us the fans get another season of Frieren 2 years later, which is not a lot, and the animators get a lot of time to put their absolute best work forward and use their passion as much as they can. I mean, you can even see it in episode 1. Oh, these know what they're doing. Because even with the trailers, like, they knew Frieren is one of the most popular anime in the world currently. They knew people are going to see the second season, especially because it's coming out like a little over 2 years after season 1. It's still fresh in people's minds, so they didn't have to spend time and money on extensive marketing or proving themselves. They could just fully focus on animating this show, and it worked perfectly, because you can tell the passion, you can still tell that the exact same team is working on this anime. It's not like a One Punch Man season 1 situation where teams switched between season 1 and season 2 and it's kind of a different art style or everything, or with Vinland Saga where they changed studios as well, although in that instance that actually also worked out because the second season was amazing, just as the first season was. But they basically limited all of the risks they had and fully focused on just this anime, which brings us to season 3 itself. In recent years this has been happening more and more. Make season 1 have 25 episodes and then have season 2 and 3 have 12, 13 episodes, in this instance 10, but the difference between seasons 2 and 3 and 4 is only 1 year. And I think that's actually what's happening here. We got 28 episodes for season 1 and now we got 10 episodes for season 2, and I can bet you that we are going to get an announcement as soon as the second season ends that we are getting Frieren season 2 second core either in fall of 2026 or even winter 2027. Currently there is nothing official about it, but looking at the patterns and just the quality and the passion and everything, the writing is kind of on the wall. Because this kind of reminds me of what like Re:Zero and Mushoku Tensei were doing, or even Attack on Titan before when it was in studio with. So I'm betting you we're going to get an announcement for either season 2 second core or just a basic all Frieren season 3 as well at the end of this season. If that doesn't happen, go back to this video and write in the comments down below, AniMatthicc is a donkey. Now all we have to wait for is even more Frieren fan art to come out.